Now we're going to kind of go into the last segment of our podcast today. We're going to be talking about the best movie year of the 2020s. Yeah. So open up your letterbox or your spreadsheets. And so we're going to kind of start with our top 5 movies of each year. We're just going to kind of go around and just do our top 5. We won't kind of bounce around. We'll just go one by one, just say our top 5. So we're going to go year by year from 2020 through 2023. And then once we're done with that, then we'll kind of do our ultimate ranking of like best year in movies from, worst to best of the 4. So Seth, I'll start with you. What are your top 5 movies of 2020?
2020 was shit. Jesus Christ. I mean, COVID, I know.
I've got all mine ready if you don't.
So mine is 5 would be Minari, which we obviously watched a few months ago. 4 would be the Netflix original Charlie Kaufman's I'm Thinking of Ending Things. 3 would be the Danish drama comedy Riders of Justice. 2 would be Mads Mikkelsen starring Thomas Vinterberg, Another Round. And then 1 would be Florian Zeller's The Father with Anthony Hopkins and Olivia Colman. That's my top 5. I will say 2 of those are a 4-star as well. So it really wasn't a great year for me, ratings-wise.
I'll ask if you saw something after we go through our lists.
Cam, your top 5.
Yeah. Starting off with Mr. Mads Mikkelsen, Another Round, 93 out of 100 for myself. Trying to find where my mouse is so that I can scroll. Next up, and then the next 4 are 5 out of 5s for myself. So not a terrible year. 5 out of 5s. The Father from Florian Zeller, 95 out of 100. Number 4, Promising Young Woman, 95 out of 100. Emerald Fennel, polarizing movie. I enjoy it a whole lot. Not like enjoy it because it's a very tough subject matter, but I thought it was incredible, really well written. Soul, 96 out of 100. One of my favorite animated movies of all time. Most definitely my favorite of recent memory. And at number 1, one of our real quick reviews, a 97 out of 100, Sound of Metal. Riz Ahmed.
Oh, wait.
I was going to ask if you've seen Riz Ahmed.
Because that's 2019 on Letterboxd, but it is a 2020 release.
It released on Prime as a wide release 2020. It got a...
let me say mine again, sorry. I'm Thinking of Ending Things 5. 4 would be Riders of Justice. 3, Sound of Metal. 2, Another Round. And The Father would be 1. So Sound of Metal would be in my top 3. I forgot that was 2020. It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Good movie in my...
Was that what you were going to ask me if I'd have seen that one?
Yep. Yeah. I forgot if you were on the real quick or not.
I was.
Yep. Good movie.
Yeah, my 5 is Promising Young Woman, so I have that overlap with Cam. That's a 9.3 for me. Might as well milk the decimals while I still have them here. Number 4, The Last Black Man in San Francisco, which was a real quick review we did back in the day. Sound of Metal is my number 3, which also real quick review. Number 2 and 1 are the same as Seth's. Number 2, I have Another Round, and number 1, I have The Father. My clear 2 favorites from the year, but also shout out Hamilton from that year. Give it a 9.8.
Oh yeah,
love Hamilton.
I think I have that as like a fake 100 out of 100 because it's.
Is that a film? Is that counted as a film?
No, I don't count it as a film because it's just they just turned the camera on the stage.
I don't count it as a film.
So it's just
That's why I say fake 100 out of 100.
Right, but Hamilton's great. I'm a big fan. All right, moving on to 2021, Seth.
Yeah, so my 5 is a Pixar film, and that is Luca. What I believe to be, for me, one of the most underappreciated Pixar films. I really love that film. Made me cry. Simple, great animated. Loved it. My number 4 is going to be Help with Stephen Graham and Jodie Comer, the COVID film. And we know COVID films are usually shit, but that was devastating. Beautiful film. My 3 is going to be Celine Sciamma, the director of Portrait of a Lady on Fire's Petite Maman, a beautiful drama. My 2 is going to be Denis Villeneuve's Dune, and my 1 is going to be Julia Ducournau's Titan. That's my number.
Yeah, I need to see Titan. I really do.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
Be interesting to see what I think about it. But
weird shit, Tyler. So great.
Cameron.
Yep. From 2021, so 92 out of 100. I have The Harder They Fall, a Netflix film. Also on Netflix.
I'm blanking on that. What is it?
It's the Western starring. Is the Western? It has like Lakeith Stanfield, Jonathan Majors, Regina King. It's man. I don't know how much I love it because I can't really remember it all that much, but I loved it at the time. I only watched it, the once and just loved it. But I'm a big, at the time, was a major fan of Jonathan Majors. Like, I thought he was incredible. He's kind of on a murderous rampage, basically, and he's just fucking good at that. 2021 as well, the Mitchells versus the Machines, a 92 out of 100, also on Netflix. So shout out Netflix, good animated movie. One of George's favorites. I know he would mention it. He kind of turned me onto it. 9 Days, stars like
is that the
what's his
one?
name? Brian Tyree Henry. Yeah, where like their souls and then talking about life and such, and it's just sad. I think Zazie Beetz in that one as well, if I'm remembering correctly. I gotta look it up now. Sorry.
I believe she is.
Yeah, I believe she is as well. So good year for her. She is. She's the main one. Winston Duke. And then into my 5 out of 5s, Dune 2021. Shout out Denis Villeneuve, 95 out of 100. And then Oscar winner, Best Picture winner, Coda, 96 out of 100 for myself.
Nice.
Big fan of Coda. I know George is anti-Coda, but it's a good movie, in my opinion.
There's 2 films I thought you'd have in there, Cameron. I thought you'd have...
What's that?
Am I right in saying you really like Judas and the Black Messiah?
Yep, I do.
Yep.
90. And then Drive My Car, also like a 90.
Oh, I thought you'd have for some reason I thought you had the Suicide Squad. I thought you'd have that.
I think that's a 91. It's probably up there. I only clicked through my first 5, so I didn't really look at my list past that. But yeah, I'm sure it's right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, in the 5 spot, Come On. Joaquin Phoenix is incredible. The kid actor. Obviously don't know his name, but don't think he's been anything else, but he's great in it too. Shout out Lin-Manuel Miranda, back-to-back years in my top 5. Tick, Tick, Boom, huge fan. Andrew Garfield, incredible. Silence, I do think is his best performance, but Tick, Tick, Boom, I genuinely do think is number 2, which, people in musicals think is weird to say, but I do think it is. Number 3 is a movie I really want to rewatch, and I think it will go even higher up on rewatch, and that's Drive My Car, which might honestly, it's maybe one of my could be my favorite international film of all time. Honestly, I just loved it the first time, but I need to rewatch. Number 2, Coda, big Coda fan as well. A lot of people calling it a Hallmark movie. I feel like is a really bad faith criticism. I don't know. I feel like it's just I don't know. I feel like I don't know. My takeaway.
It's got a happy ending. What's wrong with a happy ending?
The discourse. I don't know. I just had a lot of the discourses in bad faith because I feel like it's a female coming of age story. And I feel like it's a very similar trajectory to a lot of male coming of age stories, but because it's a female, all of a sudden it's it's too girly and sappy. And I'm it's just a coming of age story. It's just because it's a female. I think a lot of people aren't liking it. Not saying that's why George doesn't like it, but there's dozens and hundreds of people that have bad faith arguments for it. It's not just him. Number 1, Dune. Love Dune, but also shout out Bo Burnham's Inside. That's 10 out of 10 for me. Came out that year, but again, not really a movie, but
I do love that.
Do we only share one film? Oh no, sorry, you both had Coda, didn't you?
Yeah, and then Dune was Dune all 3 of us.
Dune was my 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out Zack Snyder's Justice League because George isn't here, but he's with us in spirit today, and he obviously would. I'd have to imagine to be in his top 5.
Yeah, he probably would. 2021 again, not a great year for me at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really. I don't think there's a lot of great stuff. Shout out The Worst Person in the World, big fan of that.
Oh yeah, great film. Yeah.
King Richard I actually did really like as a film, even though Will Smith at the Oscars is kind of soured that film. But
After Yang, the Colin Farrell 24.
Yeah, I never watched.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I don't know. I didn't love it.
The Lost Daughter.
Really like that. Big fan of Maggie Gyllenhaal as a director.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I really liked
Maggie Gyllenhaal, Sofia Coppola, Handshake, better directors than actors.
Probably right. Yeah, probably right.
I mean, Sofia Coppola is obvious because did she act in anything other than?
Yeah, she
Godfather 3.
Yeah, I'm sure she did a couple of projects, but not many.
Yeah.
Godfather 3 didn't exactly.
But she's great behind the camera. So is Maggie Gyllenhaal. I'm excited to see more Maggie Gyllenhaal projects.
I think George would have the French Dispatch in here, honestly. Which I'm not.
Yeah, he probably would. I mean, if it's as high as Wes Anderson, I feel like it'd have to be.
Yeah.
All right, let's flip over to 2022.
Now we're talking. Now we are talking. 2022 is a fucking banger.
Start off with Seth.
Oh wow, this is tough. Okay, so I'll go. Top of the. Okay, 5. Someone else go. Sorry.
All right.
5.
I have all mine ranked, so I can do that. 5 Decisions Leave. Shout out Park Chan-wook. 4. That's a 94 out of 100, and then the next 4 are 5 out of 5s for myself. 4, I have the Batman. Shout out Mr. Reeves and Robert Pattinson. At number 3, 96 out of 100, I believe, the Banshees of Inisherin, which Seth released 1 year ago today.
Wow, was it really? I've seen it 6 times, I think.
I bet that's up for you. Then.
Honestly, I thought it would be higher number wise.
I've only seen it once or twice this year.
Right.
Wait, wait, what? I'm confused. Carry on.
Number 2, I saw on a work trip to Plano, Texas, where I will be going in December. So maybe I'll watch another banger down there and just keep the tradition alive. After Sun, 97 out of 100. And then number 1, my favorite movie, a 98 out of 100. Oscar Best Picture winner, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Shout out me and the Oscars. We are.
I was going to say, how long is your streak now of years where you've.
I forget. What was, man, I already forget what my 2020
2,
number 1 is.
Because you Coda. So you already got 2.
Yeah. Sound of Metal, that didn't win Best Picture.
No.
So
just a 2-year streak. But
what was 2020's Best Picture?
Nomadland?
No, it was 2019, wasn't it? Oh no, it was
2020.
Nomadland.
2019 was Parasite.
Nomadland.
2020 was Parasite, but
because it was a 2019 year, 2020.
Okay, so I have to look 2021 Best Picture now. Nomadland. Yep, you're right.
Okay,
I haven't seen Nomadland.
You had Parasite for the year before, so you're on a 3 out of 4 streak right now.
Yep, 3 out of 4. And this year, shout out Across the Spider-Verse. You're winning.
Seth, you got your top 5?
So my 5 is the Irish film The Quiet Girl. My 4 is Park Chan-wook's Decision to Leave. My 3 is Charlotte Wells' directorial debut After Sun. My 2 is Todd Field's Tar. And my 1 is, to no surprise to absolutely anyone, The Banshees of Inisherin. Top 5.
Yep. My top 5, number 5, Luca Guadagnino's Bones and All. Number 4, Damien Chazelle's Babylon. Number 3, Jared Carmichael's On the Count of 3. Number 2, The Daniels' Everything Everywhere All at Once. And number 1, of course, Charlotte Wells' After Sun.
We had
great year, though.
We had much. Have you thought about tweeting about Babylon yet?
Fuck off.
No, I kind of wanted to.
He did yesterday. He did yesterday.
About Voodoo Mama.
Oh, yeah. To be fair, I tweeted about Babylon way before it was cool. I was day 1.
I don't know, man. I
was a day 1 Babylonian.
What do they call it? Babylon, was
Babylon Hive or Babylon
Hive? Yeah.
They say that about a ton of movies. They're like hives.
Yeah, they do. Yep. There's another one. I can't remember what the fuck it is now.
2022 was such a great year, though. Like, honestly, it wasn't like the most top heavy in terms of like. There's not a ton like I'm like blown away with, but like so many in the 4.5 range for me.
What I would say is like when I look at 2022. So my top 5, like these, so these films I'm going to mention now would always be in like my top 5 for the year, but they weren't because of the quality. So like the Batman, I really, really liked. I think the Batman was fantastic. Everything Everywhere All at Once was fantastic. Really, really liked it. Wasn't in my top 5. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, fantastic film. Really, really liked it. Triangle of Sadness was my number 6. I loved Triangle of Sadness last year. And RRR, I really like Revolt, Rev, blah, blah, blah,
yeah.
Love that film. And then there was like Babylon, which really liked. Northman, All Quiet on the Western Front.
Ambulance.
I didn't watch that. Top Gun Maverick. I like Top Gun Maverick a lot.
Ambulance.
Top Gun Maverick was cool.
You know what was a fun movie that George is an idiot about? Prey. I liked Prey.
Prey. Prey was cool. No,
I love Prey.
You liked Prey. He just
Prey was good fun.
I love Prey. Parentheses 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. That's fine.
3.5 out of 5. Prey was better than Predator. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
All right, on to this year. Top 5.
Yeah. Are you starting this one, Seth, or is it going back to me?
I've got it. Okay. I know. Off by heart. My
favorite?
5 is David Fincher's latest film, The Killer.
Okay, nice.
Not a fan. Got the thumbs down from Bailey.
Didn't agree with that one. My 4. My 4 is Across the Spider-Verse. That's the one. My 3 is Wes Anderson's Asteroid City. My 2 is Nolan's Oppenheimer, and my 1 is Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon. That's my 4.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like my list will change a whole lot. This year for me has just been a whole lot of okay. Actually, I think it's pretty top heavy. I really enjoy my like top 4, and then the other, 50 that I've seen, I enjoy, but not a whole lot. But my number 5.
Go on, say after.
No, I've seen 56. I've rated.
How many of you got like a 4.5 or above? I've got 4.
I have 8, 4.5 and above. But I feel like my list, I feel like is just off a little bit. I feel like I enjoy Suzumi a lot more, just like thinking about it, than I do my number 5, which is Creed 3. I liked Creed 3 a lot. I really enjoyed it. I may have given it a little too high of a rating, but
did you rewatch it?
No, I haven't rewatched it.
Because I get the 4.5, and then I rewatched it at home, and I was like, yeah.
I haven't rewatched it.
I like Creed. It's in my top 15.
And then my number 4, Past Lives. Shout out Cucking. My number 3, Robert J. Oppenheimer's biopic Oppenheimer. And number 2, shout out Comic Book Movies, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, 96 out of 100 or 95 out of 100 now. And then also number 1, Across the Spider-Verse, 98.
You haven't seen Killers of the Flower Moon yet, have you?
Nope.
I need you to watch it.
I know. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy is one of those where I dropped it to like a 4.5, and then I rewatched it. And I was like, nah, I love this. But I think you had the opposite.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I think for me, I don't know if this makes sense to you guys. Do you ever watch a film with someone who like loves something, and then you kind of inherently love it more because you're watching them happy? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That was kind of like me with Anna. I still really liked it, which I think it's a great film. I think it's definitely one of my favorite MCU films. Probably that, the first Guardians or Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't really get the same like emotional impact, I would say, on rewatch. But still really cool, though.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, but opposite too. Like if I'm watching something with someone who like hates something, I'm inherently probably not going to enjoy it as much as I would have if I watched it alone or something.
That makes sense. Well, actually, to be fair, it doesn't, because Anna hates everything that I put on, and I just love everything, so that makes sense. But I don't know. I feel like if like someone you're close to loves a film and you're watching it with them, you kind of just inherently like it a little bit more. Do you know what I mean?
And like that's one thing for me for rating movies too. Like Joker like isn't probably like better than a lot of 4.5s I have, but I have it a 5-star because like when I watched in a theater with people and like I remember just talking with them for like an hour after.
Experiences,
right? Exactly, and I'm totally fine keeping that as a 5-star because like my experience, it was like my favorite theater experience. Like I was with people I enjoyed. Sense. We had great conversations afterwards about just like life and like mental health. Like I was like, so it's like just remember that and just tie it into the rating of the movie. Same with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I actually do really love that movie. But again, great theater experience that I had a great time with.
It's a great film. George isn't here, so we can talk positive.
True.
Yeah,
for some reason,
I feel like we're hating on George this week, just kind of bashing him a little bit. So sorry if you're listening, George, but
you thought what, Tyler?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is great.
I thought you didn't like it as much either, Seth.
No, I get 4 stars. I thought it was great.
My top 5. Number 5, Asteroid City, Wes Anderson. Oh, that is one I have rewatched and didn't move it up or down, but still really liked it as much.
I haven't watched it yet. I've only seen it once.
Really enjoyed it. Number 4, Air. Still hanging on because I was like that came out like February or March, but
that's one I look back on fondly, but I have it at like 12th or something on my list. Like I just had a lot of fun with
Air, and I forgot to bring this up during our Priscilla review, but the way Air, Seth, did you see Air?
No, it's not seen it.
The way the way the movie handles Michael Jordan is very similar to how Priscilla handles Elvis, where like kind of like a secondary aspect and like which I think they both did really well with how they handled it. Number 3 is Past Lives. It's another movie I have also rewatched. Number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Seen it 3 times now. Still love it. And number 1 for me is Oppenheimer. But shout out Midnight Ruin. Great movie, or great short from this year. And also still a Michael J. Fox movie is a documentary that's like very close to my top 5. And then The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar is still one of like the best things I've saw this year.
I agree. That would be like up there for me if I was to rank it with like feature films. I really, really like that.
Mm-hmm.
Great film.
But yeah, this year feels to me a lot like 2021 in terms of.
I agree.
Not like there's some heavy hitters up top, but not a ton of like incredible films. But there's a lot in that 4-ish area to me.